The 30 coolest shipwrecks in the world. Humans are really good at sinking ships. So good that the United Nations estimates that there are 3 million wrecked along the ocean floor. So we've rounded up 30 ships that wow us, make us scratch our heads, or even experience submechanophobia, a fear of fully or partially submerged man-made objects. 1. Endurance. Location: Weddell Sea, east of the Antarctic Peninsula. After resting 10,000 feet below the waves of the Weddell Sea for over 106 years, a team of technicians, marine archaeologists, and adventurers have finally uncovered the final resting place of the three-masted, 144-foot-long wooden ship Endurance. The search team announced their discovery on March 9, 2022. Endurance has a storied history among even the most famous shipwrecks due to the harrowing survival story of the Antarctic explorer at its helm, Sir Ernest Henry Shackleton, who led a crew of 27 men and 1 cat on the 1914 to 1917 Imperial Transantarctic expedition headed for the South Pole. Unfortunately, in 1915, the expedition ship became trapped in a dense pack of ice off the Caird coast, drifting for 10 months before it was ultimately crushed in the pack ice. The crew abandoned the ship and set up a makeshift camp on nearby ice floes for 5 months. Eventually, they escaped to the Elephant Islands, surviving on seal meat and penguins. In a whale boat, Shackleton and 5 other sailors traveled 800 miles over 16 days to South Georgia to seek out help. For months and 4 separate rescue expeditions later, Shackleton saved every member of his crew. 2. Mediterranean Sky. Location: Eleusis, Greece. Mediterranean Sky is one of the best-known shipwrecks in Greece, but it didn't always have the name to prove it. When United Kingdom-based Vickers Shipbuilding and Engineering first completed the ship in 1953, it went by the name City of York. It frequently made passage between London, Las Palmas, Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, East London, Durban, Lourenço Marques, and Beira, but one of its true claims to fame was a zippy 15-day passage between London and Cape Town, according to the Greek Reporter. Karageorgis Lines, a Greek cruise company, purchased the 541-foot-long ship in 1971, renaming it Mediterranean Sky. Wealthy clientele frequented the ship in the colder months, taking passengers from the Greek city of Patras to Venice, Italy. Those trips were the height of luxury at the time, as Mediterranean Sky boasted 2 swimming pools, state-of-the-art cabins, and even air conditioning. It could hold up to 1,000 passengers and 470 vehicles. But the good times couldn't last forever. Mediterranean Sky completed her final journey between Patras and Brindisi, Italy, in 1996. She remained decommissioned at the port of Patras for the next 3 years due to the shipowner's financial problems. Eventually, Patras Port Authority moved the ship to Eleusis in 2002, where it was towed into shallow waters and intentionally beached. By 2003, it had capsized and sank. You can still see the half-submerged ship today. 3. Ss Thistlegorm. Location: Red Sea, near Egypt's Ras Mohammed National Park. Today, Ss Thistlegorm is known as one of the world's most spectacular dive sites, but in a past life, it was an armed British merchant navy ship that carried out 3 successful voyages in the World War II era. Joseph Thompson and Sons Shipyard in Sunderland, England built Thistlegorm and promptly launched it in April 1940. According to the Thistlegorm Project, a maritime archaeology project that creates and studies 3D models of the ship for digital preservation, a triple-expansion steam engine rated to 1,850 horsepower powered the armed freighter. It boasted a 4.7-inch anti-aircraft gun and a heavy-caliber machine gun on its stern. Thistlegorm's first mission involved collecting steel rails and aircraft parts from the U.S. In its second voyage, she traveled to Argentina for grain. The third time around, Thistlegorm went to the West Indies for rum. Her fourth and final journey followed repairs in Glasgow, Scotland. She was destined for Alexandria, Egypt, carrying lorries, trucks, armored vehicles, motorcycles, guns, ammunition, rifles, and radio equipment among other items. Unfortunately for Thistlegorm, German intelligence figured out that there was an Allied troop-carrying ship heading for Egypt in September 1941. While bombers failed to locate that ship, they instead decided to bomb the largest nearby ship, Thistlegorm. The ship caught fire, tore into two pieces, and sank. Today, the wreck sits at a depth of about 100 feet, making it an ideal site for scuba divers. 4. Giannis D. Location: Red Sea, near Egypt. The Giannis D went by many names before it sunk. At first, the cargo ship was built as the Shoyo Maru in Imabari, Japan in 1969. It was eventually sold in 1975 and renamed Marcus. Then it was sold again in 1980 to the Dumark Shipping and Trading Corporation in Piraeus, Greece, and renamed the Giannis D. Its last voyage departed from Rijeka, Yugoslavia, in 1983, carrying lumber bound for Jeddah in Saudi Arabia and Yemen. Here's how the ship took on water and sunk, according to the Red Sea Project. On April 19, 1983, the ship was in transit in the Straits of Gubal, which is a rather narrow shipping lane before reaching the open waters of the Red Sea. Once on course for open water, the captain turned over the helm to one of his junior officers and retired to his cabin to rest. Soon afterwards, he was rudely awakened by the sound of his ship running aground. It appeared that the Giannis D had drifted west of her set course and ran aground at full speed on the northwest edge of the Shab Abu Nuhas Reef. Today, the ship lies at the bottom of the Red Sea in three sections. The crumpled bow is about 10 meters below the surface. 5. Sweepstakes. Location: Tobermory, Ontario. Big Tub Harbor is the place to be if you're a diver. Just about 3 hours northwest of Toronto, the body of water is home to over 20 shipwrecks. It's sort of like the Bermuda Triangle of Ontario, Canada. It's hard for photos to do this one justice, but the star shipwreck is easily Sweepstakes, a Great Lakes schooner built in 1867 in Burlington, Ontario. In its heyday, it weighed 218 gross tons and was 119 feet long. In the summer of 1885, Sweepstakes was hauling coal near Cove Island by Tobermory when it somehow sustained hull damage. It was towed to Big Tub Harbor for repairs, but it was too expensive. All the valuables were stripped, and then she was sunk. Luckily, you needn't be a diver to experience this ship in real life. Boat tours with glass bottoms routinely take tourists to visit the wreck, which lies close to the surface of the water in Big Tub Harbor. Of course, it's also a destination for divers.